Welcome to the Nightly Rant
with
your hosts, Mike
and Torya.
This is the show where we examine society from a sarcastic point of view.
If you like insane conversations, this is definitely the show for you.
Let's get into today's topic. YPN people, I don't know about you, but I love helping out a friend. That's why I want to shout out my friend Brian Little and his podcast, Your Favorite Blockhead. This is the only show that manages to weave together peanuts and MMA into one heck of an amazing podcast. You can find Your Favorite Blockhead wherever your favorite podcasts reside and at yourfavoriteblockhead.com. Do me a huge favor and listen to Brian's show. You'll be entertained and you'll help out a friend. Now, as I said, let's get into today's topic.
Okay, so we're experiencing a little bit of technical difficulties here right at the start. But hey, what the hell? We're going to go with it. And he'll get in here as soon as he can get in here. We got ourselves the horn over here, Jackson Horn. He's trying to get to a better spot. You can hear his chain jingling over there. Someone's yanking his chain. How about you, Torya? You yanking his chain?
Nope, not even once.
So we figured we'd harass him while he walks in. I'm not sure he can even hear us, but we can hear him.
Da, na, 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 na.
I think the funnier part is that the video feed froze. So like he's kind of like gazing off into the distance. He's got headphones on and a hat. Like he's just like on a mission. It's really funny. I can't take it. So we're back. We got cut off because he somehow finally disconnected from like way up where he was. He came all the way to wherever he ended up, and then he disconnected, which was funny. Welcome back, Jackson.
The welcome is received, and I am grateful for it. Wow, what a fucking... I was in Louisiana for some time, and my life reached its new chapter, and here I am in Dallas with my dad, and we're about to move out to a new condo, and I'm hopefully going to stop being a 24-year-old who is dependent on his father soon.
So that's what you told us the last time we spoke, was that you were moving. And I think on Instagram, I saw that you had gone to the open mic night. How did that go?
So I got to be honest, like cockiness for sure affects everybody when you least expect it to. And the reason why I say is because I have so much fucking, like, the amount of material I have at 24 is honestly just, like, it's insane is an understatement. It's just, there's so much of it. The problem is, in my mind, I didn't understand one key part of this. I didn't, like, in my mind, I thought all comedians went on stage, just spoke and just did everything by head, like by heart or whatever. But they only do that a very little portion of their time on stage. So I tried to deliver material I'd never rehearsed before. So I fucked up bad, like 3 different times actually. I went to 2 different locations, and the Dallas Comedy House was more preferable because it's just a cleaner environment. Hyena's Comedy Club. It's funny I say Hyena's Comedy. Hyenas, I'll just call it Hyenas. They're great and all, but I just feel like they're more. I really shouldn't say this on a podcast, but like when you go to Hyenas, you don't feel the same as you do when you go to Dallas Comedy House. When you go to Dallas Comedy House, you feel like you're more. You just feel like you're around better people. When you're at Hyenas, you get this like fuck off type of vibe. I don't know whether it's just me or not, but yeah. So to answer your question, 100%. I fucked up bad because I hadn't rehearsed anything.
All right, but you stuck it out there, right? You still went out there.
Yeah, I went out. I mean, it's going up.
So that's better than all the people I talked to who say they want to do it and never do it. I mean,
yeah,
think about that.
Yeah,
you know, and you put yourself out there, and if you know what, so you messed up. Oh well, go do it again. You'll just keep getting better at it. That's all there is to it. I go back and I listen to some of our first podcasts. And I really, if it wasn't for the fact that I like to be open and transparent, I would probably delete them from the list and renumber everything. I mean, it's just they were horrendous, some of the early ones, but you get better as you do something like this. So I think it's great that we were talking to our previous guest. He's got a show called Your Favorite Blockhead, and he is joining the Yogi's Podcast Network as a premiere show. And so we were talking a little bit about how, we had you coming up, and I mentioned that I have a lot of respect for you that you got out there and you did what you said you were going to do. You told us on the air that you were going to go. And the next thing I saw you with a little ticket, and you were going. Hey, doesn't matter. No matter what, it wasn't going to be your best performance. Let's face it. It would never have been your absolute best performance. Could have been better than it was. Who knows? Whatever. Just that's your starting point. Now you just go from there and you're going to be awesome.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting to me to, like, it's really interesting for me to consider this. People seem to be, it's not that people are dumb on it. Like, I've had to wrestle this idea. Like, people very well could be very stupid. That might be a problem. But the bigger problem is just not doing shit. If you just sit there and think, I want to do this but never do it, you're literally like by definition, you're going to become depressed. That's why depression happens, because you're not doing anything. And people wonder why it's like, you're unhappy as fuck because you're not being a human being. You're in your head too much. Like, you're not doing anything. You've got to do something. Like this hedonistic way of living is just nonsense. Like, you don't have to just do nothing to be happy. Like, that's the opposite of what happiness is. So yeah, I went up there and did it. I was nervous as fuck, but I was like, wow, that was all I had to do. That's easy,
Exactly. And so then the next time you'll be a little less nervous. And I think what happens is the scale just kind of shifts sides, But I got to talk to you about something that bothers me. Why the fuck do you change your Instagram name twice a fucking day? Why?
Good fucking question. Here's your fucking answer, sir. So how do I say this in the most 24-year-old way possible? So I love and respect my dad so much, and I said he was like, out of just misunderstanding and out of anger, I call him kind of dumb on the last podcast. He knows I would never be serious with that comment, but and it's funny I'm answering the question now without even. So I don't want my dad to find my Instagram because he's a fucking great lawyer. He's a fucking savage in jiu-jitsu also. So if I were to be like, hey dad, here's my Instagram, odds are he's going to say, you're not on your own yet. I'm paying all your bills, et cetera, so fucking just stop. So to simply not have that happen, I've changed it to Comedic Jackson and left my name out of there. That way, if you try to search me, you can't find me unless you know exactly what my username is. So now it's Comedic Jackson. It's not going to change, but it might not.
Dude.
I think he just changed it just now.
Probably.
No, I didn't. No, I'm going to leave it because it'll be fine. But like the reason why I know I'm going to make it is really simple. I don't know if y'all know who Gabby Lambie is. She is out of LA. And
see, hold on a second. You can't make it if you keep changing your social media handle name and no one can fucking find you. You got to be able to fucking find you. You go on a show, you promote your goddamn self, you say who you are, you tell people where to find you, and then you disappear. And I see this guy come up on my feed and I go, who the hell? Oh, that's Jackson. Okay, good. Oh, wait a minute. What? Oh, there's Jackson again. I thought I just saw him with a different name 5 minutes ago. Oh, there he is again. Oh, there's Jackson again. So then what I did was I shared something of yours to our story twice, and it proved to me that you had the different name because it puts the name at the bottom that you had at the time. And I was like, okay, at least I'm not going fucking nuts. But man, I'm glad you got to stick with the one you're at now that you just promoted, so that people can find you. That's the first step. Just like how if you're an alcoholic, the first step is admitting you have a problem. Well, your first step is don't change the name anymore.
It's going to stay. I'll go further. I'll add on to this. So I changed it so that it'd be harder to find me, but also easier to find me, because if you know the name, you can't miss it. But here's the other thing. If you go look at all comedians, most of them have a pretty professional sounding name. like most of them do not have part in fucking me or the like. I just like, you know what? Like Mike Lawrence comedy, like it just. I mean, so I want something that's very just easy to understand. Comedic Jackson. That's an adjective describing my name. So boom, done.
Yeah,
Never
I
gonna
think
change.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. You know, I'm not saying it should be something rude and obnoxious. I mean, hell, ours is Yogi's _ podcast _ network. I mean, it's boring, but it is who we are. You know,
Magic.
people
Yeah.
can find us, and Victoria can remember it when she's promoting it on shows and other places.
Barely.
Yeah.
I have a hard time remembering the things. I'm always asking you, which one's the one with the dots and which one's the one with the underscores?
There are no
Anyway.
dots.
So, okay, tell me something. You moved. This girlfriend that you have, does she live in Dallas or does she live back where you were?
It's funny you asked that question at this moment. She lives in Colleyville. She actually has a car, unlike myself, and she's also 35. And there's a story behind that. I can just tell you. I mean, I got off work. Dude, this shit that happens in my life is honestly fucking crazy. I was working at Zenna in downtown Dallas, and my dad texted me one day. He's like, "Hey, your restaurant just burned down," and it didn't literally burn down. It had a grease fire. You can go find it on Instagram. Hashtag greasefire 2019. You'll see the pictures of it. I walked in there to get my paycheck, so it wasn't like it was shut down, but they couldn't reopen until like another 2 months. So one night I got off work at Zenna and I was like, you know what? I've got some money and I want to drink a little bit because I recently got back into drinking. Drinking is actually pretty pleasurable if you just do it in moderation. Anyway, so I called up my gay friend, and I say gay because it's relevant to the story. So he and his husband were going, not even his husband, I guess he and just, I don't know who the fuck else, but he went to this thing called Safer is Sexy or some shit. It's an event promoting safe sex. And so when I got to this event, I was drinking for free, and I thought the open bar wasn't free, so I tried to pay for it. They're like, "Dude, this is free." I'm like, "Oh shit, I didn't get the memo." So I drank, and then my friend's like walking me around, like my gay friend's like walking me around, like I'm probably the straightest guy in this whole place. So walking around, all of a sudden this other girl she intersects with me, and my friend's like, "Hey Jackson, she's single, you're single." I'm like, "Girlfriend?" She's like, "Boyfriend." I'm like, "How is this fucking happening so fast?" For the first time she walks away, then moments later I run back into her, and then before I know I'm walking out of the place called Lofty Spaces, and then we're talking, and then before I know I'm going home with her. It's like, holy fuck Tinder. This is way better than Tinder. So that was how that happened. And Mike,
That's awesome.
Mike just like, it is. We actually got in a fight recently, but it's over. It's over. It was over. It wasn't over anything I actually did wrong. It was just me. I had a little bit of a freak out, and any guy would understand this if I were to voice it, but I don't really think it's necessarily polite to talk about it, without her consent on air. But
Fair enough.
yeah, let's just say that I thought I was going to be. I really, I don't know who will hear this later on. Let's just say that I thought I was going to have a major life responsibility, and it turns out I don't have that responsibility coming in my way. If you can get what I'm saying, I really, really, really. My mind was like, dude, I'm telling you, you're going to be this. And then like, she's like, hey, you're wrong. I'm like, fucking God. But so because of that freak out, we're like in a little pot, because she realized, oh, fuck, I get real terrified when I don't know what's going to happen next. So we're still together, but holy shit, I had to learn to calm down. She's a yoga instructor. Oh my God. Like, so.
Calming down is probably a good thing.
I also saw.
Yeah, there's a reason why I smoke.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you go. No, I was going to change the subject, so go ahead.
You go. I want to hear you say first.
I was going to say I also saw that you fell down a hill.
I did. I was on a Lime scooter, and I was actually coming home from the person's house, from the gay friend's house I was just talking about, and those fucking Lime scooters are so fun. Like, the thing is, for me, like, I was so depressed recently, and I actually didn't know I was depressed, which is even the more of a mindfucking situation. But I was going down this hill. I crashed. I had my MacBook Air in my backpack, and I just fuck, like that shit fucking hurt. Like it was just, I walked at least a mile and a half, like bleeding. I mean, my pinky was just like down to the bone. It was just fucked up. And my dad was like, what the fuck? Like, don't you, he wasn't literally that bad, but he was just saying like, dude, you've got to think about what you're doing. I'm like, I know, sorry, I'm just real stoic. I can't help it.
It kind of looked like
Anyway.
you stabbed yourself in the pants. Like that's what the pictures you posted looked like.
Yeah, my original joke, the darker joke, was like, it looks like I just what's the word? It looks like I just committed malpractice and became an abortion doctor, and then went in my joggers to commit the abortion, and then the abortion just bled all over me. That was my dark joke. But your dark joke is also good.
Have you changed your
Slightly less dark.
Instagram name yet?
Have I changed my Instagram yet? You're funny, sir. You're funny. No, I
So
haven't.
it's lasted 14 whole minutes tonight. This is great. We're holding steady. We'll see if we make it.
I don't even think like, here's my thing. This is what I've actually come to think about people. I don't think you have to be a certain type of person to enjoy comedy. If you're not that type of person, you're never going to care what someone like, because here's the thing, like, there are so many things that are honestly just disgusting and funny and positive. Everything is a lot of things at once. And it takes a really, like, you've got to be a little bit upset in some regard to like comedy. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, this is negative. I'm too positive. I don't like making fun of people. People should be like, no, fuck that. Like, when you go through enough suffering, comedy becomes imperative to your happiness. Trust me.
Hey, speaking of comedy, what did you think about Aunt Becky getting in trouble?
About who?
The college cheating scandal that just came out.
Oh, that doesn't fucking surprise me. I mean, who? If there was a way to, in this case it's not happen. In this case, it didn't happen. But if there was a way to ensure that if there was a way to ensure that this would never happen, anybody with any level of disregard for, I guess, morals would easily take that route. Like, I mean, we're human beings. Like, we want the best for ourselves. So if we can find a way to make it rational and, go forth, then we will. And so it doesn't surprise me, but it also makes me simultaneously remain against, like, I just don't give a fuck about college. Like, I got my associate in science degree. I finished with a 3.2. You clearly don't need college to make a living. You just don't. If you did, everyone would go back to college, but you don't need college. And so on one hand, I'm like, you know what? There's probably a lot of good-hearted people out there and in the university system, whatever. But shit like this just keeps becoming mainstream. It's like, how can you keep trusting it? Like, there's got to be only so much trust, right?
Well, yeah, and it's kind of done for me. I don't trust stuff like that anymore. I mean, think about all the people who didn't make it into college because these people scammed their way into college. I mean, and those people might have really wanted to go to a particular college and they couldn't because someone else bought their way in.
I'd be so pissed if that was me.
But what makes me, what we talked about before, and we'll talk about again, is people think like they know the person because they're a celebrity. They think they know them based off of the characters that they play. And they don't bother to think about the fact that that's just a character that some writer wrote. And that doesn't mean that person is the character. So like in this case, she's Aunt Becky from, Full House, but that's not who she really is. Clearly. I mean, she spent a lot of money to get her kid into college, and now it's costing her career, her daughter's career, and her daughter's only 19, and more than likely her husband's career. So, I mean, I hope they had a great time cheating the system to get into a college that they wanted to get into when they could have just worked a little harder and gotten into college. I mean, I don't know. It is
maybe
makes me want to hang myself.
Maybe spend the $75,000 on a tutor for your dumb kid rather than spending it on cheating your way into college.
There you go.
I don't know how to be polite with this, but listen, I'm a 24-year-old dude with like a fuckload of testosterone inside me. So all this time you're talking about her and her kid or whatever, I'm just thinking, well, when I watched Full House, I used to want to fuck her, so this is awkward. Like, I don't really care about her. I just kind of want to have sex with her, and her face is really, really elegant. Like that face, just as a guy, you're like, wow, like that's the face I want to see when I'm doing X or Y or Z position. Like, college sex, which one is more appealing? Yeah, so that's my mind. Hate to be honest, but
that's how a 24-year-old would think, wouldn't you say, Torya?
I've never been a 24-year-old boy. Sorry.
But you've been around.
Well, as a woman, when you like, let's say you're thinking about Ryan Gossling, if you're one of those Ryan Gosling girls, no,
not even a little bit. Nice try though.
So help him out.
I see the stereotype.
Damon, I don't know. Brad Pitt.
Help him out.
Name one guy.
No, I don't want to.
Help him out.
I don't want to help you out. I like this guessing game. It's pretty funny.
This is a nightly rant. You guys talk about something.
You're not ranting very much.
Yeah, come on. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to facilitate this rant for you.
I don't care. Just pick someone.
Okay.
I don't want to pick Tom Cruise because he's a Scientologist.
We'll pick Jack Black.
Okay. I am down with that.
Dude, you Jack Black out of every man you could. Okay, so I'm sure that there was a point at which.
Hey, hold on a second. You're not The Rock, neither am I, and we both have women. So enough said. If someone thinks Jack Black is sexy, let them. Who cares?
Jack Black is the funniest man alive. Okay.
The funniest?
Humor?
Yes.
And humor.
Jack Black is an A+, dude.
He clearly doesn't.
I'll go with it, but anyway. I was just gonna make a point, like, so I could be talking about Jack Black's, career work, and then you could be careers work, and then you could be thinking, well, yeah, career, but that face and the way he might look at me when we're fucking, like, you could be like, your mind just might not give a fuck what I'm talking.
Yeah, women don't think that way.
Yeah, it's more of a man. Remember when we talked about unsolicited dick pics? And I mean, I now have figured out men are so obvious that I've even figured out the pattern they use when they send them, so that I can block them before they even get a chance to send them. That's the greatest thing ever, is to see the pattern. Aha, I know what's coming next. Goodbye, you're out of here. And anytime I've ever let them stay after thinking that, what comes next? And then, want to know what I send them back? I find the biggest, blackest penis, and I send it back to them.
It's because you're a lunatic.
Thank you for sharing yours. Let me share mine.
I don't even.
You don't know what to say. You can see on his face.
I know what to say. There's just it's choosing the right part of what I want to say. So basically, it's funny how I've reached 24 and not realized what I didn't know. Women are actually women are just as in the mood for sex as men are. It happens to be a lot more controlled than men. Like, men are for me, I have so many fucks lacking that I could just take a girl and just have sex with her on this round table that I'm currently in front of. A girl might be like, that could be cool, but let's go where no one's looking. Like, women are I feel like women are just more sexually willing, but in better circumstances. Men are just kind of crazy and they just want to do it wherever. That's why men have all these fantasies.
Just a question for you. When did you have a woman's brain transplanted into your head?
I didn't, but I researched a lot of shit.
Are you positive that's how they think? Just curious.
I'm not. Well, everything's. I feel like everything just is relative, but I think that many women out there. I think that many. I'm fucking talking too fast. I think many women out there probably prefer crazy sex shit to happen, but then a lot of everyone's different, right? So, I'm just saying that it's easily possible that some women out there don't give a fuck about being crazy,
Honey,
what
are the 2 words? What are the 2 words and their many variants that you should not use in any discussion?
Always and never.
Always and never, and anything that means always and never, because that's where generalizations come from. And anytime someone generalizes, I will guarantee you they are wrong about their generalization, because there's always going to be
It's always an exception.
My God, there's always that one exception. Always. I mean, you could be like, this is bulletproof. This is how it's going to be. There's always that one person who is a little off of the track.
Jerk's
So
gonna
you got to
ruin
be
everything.
careful. And that's why you don't use always or never, because nothing is always something and nothing is never something. So it's an interesting thing we've learned through 200 and 30 episodes of the Nightly Rant. because we're analyzing what we see in society, you see. So like you're kind of, you're doing that as well, but just my opinion, you're trying to censor yourself a little bit, and that's okay. But we don't censor ourselves. We leave names out of the picture always. We have a paid podcast where we name names.
Sometimes.
But if you're going to pay us, we'll name names. But we don't name names in public out of respect for other people. But we'll tell the story, and we'll tell you damn straight up what we think about the story. So, with that said, I respect your approach and that you're measured, but I'm just not that way. I say what's on my mind. And in regards to the idiots with the college cheating thing, I mean, it's not over. There's going to be lawsuits, lots of lawsuits, because we are in the United States and we love to sue. Most litigious country in the world. What did you say other countries think about the United States?
Other countries stereotype Americans as rude and sues everyone.
Yeah, for the littlest things. What I mean, and it's true, right, Jackson? I mean, we're always reading about some other dumbass lawsuit.
I mean, I have been personally sued for $1 million, and because of my testimony, they went from 60 grand in compensatory damages to zero just because of what I said. I mean, but no, I was gonna so I'm kind of trying to go I wasn't back with the women thing. I wasn't saying that all women are one way or the other way. I was just saying that I think there's a large portion of women out there in America, because I'm in America and I'm not trying to talk about other countries I don't live in, but it seems to me like men in America are becoming a lot more sexually impulsive, and some of them out of those many are probably learning that women can't always like that. Some women will though. That's why some change and some don't change. So everyone has a lot of different approaches, but in general, I don't think that every woman is up and ready to just meet every man's fantasy. I mean, I haven't seen that. I've never seen a man just do that and then make a career out of it. Like maybe Dane Cook in that one movie he made, but I don't know.
But see, this is why I say that a lot
I know
of
what movie you
times
mean.
men. This is why I say a lot of times men embarrass me, because I'm embarrassed to be a man, because it's that kind of thinking that some men have, that I'll just take it when I want it, and they don't understand when the woman says no that it means no. That's what's caused this gosh darn stupid Me Too movement that, if you ask me, states the obvious, oh, here we go again, saying that no means no 1,000th different way, so we can definitely confuse the youth of the nation. How about we just say no means no? And how about we teach our kids no means no, and show some respect. When he says no, it's no. Stop. It's done. Don't push it, because all that happens is there are some girls that freeze up, they let it go forward, and then the next thing they're saying that you raped them. Well, maybe you did. And that's the thing. Don't put yourself in that position as a young guy or an old guy. You let the woman take the lead on that kind of stuff. Let them take the lead.
I do, however, think that was the most politically correct answer I've ever heard about what women want in their lives. A+, good sir. A+.
Me?
Him.
Or him? Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I didn't think I was
Still hear me or no?
correct. I'm being harassed by a cat. She doesn't understand why I'm talking again into a microphone, so she's now going to come and bother me. Oh, there she goes. Bye. Anyway, you were about to say something, and I interrupted you, so go ahead.
Well, so the reason I think, and again, I don't say things as if I know everything. I can't speak like I'm omniscient, because I'm not. But I have very strong opinions that I think are based on calculated thinking. So the Me Too movement, in my view, is extremely helpful because it's teaching women who are brave and weak to speak up at all, which is a huge step in human evolution. And there are also a lot of people out there who want to accuse somebody on bad evidence. So, I mean, I think a lot of movements are probably good, and some people happen to give them a bad name. So the Me Too movement, the Me Too movement can seem stupid because stupid men make it happen in the first place. That'd be why it's only stupid because it is, in fact, like the fact that there's a movement at all that has to be one where men can now be accused. Like that's like women should just be able to get it to where they can just say this guy did this and therefore he's guilty. But because America is so dumb and because our justice system is so flawed, we have this big system of people having to speak up and make a movement. So these movements are just a symptom of a deeper problem, in my opinion. I mean, for me, like if a woman says she was abused, she's not unless her story is just kooky by nature, and you can tell it's kooky. But even then, how would you know what kooky is or what's good? Like she's just saying something. So you really just got to pay a lot of attention in the deepest sense. Okay. You have to pay attention.
So hold on a second. I respect your opinion completely. And I think you misunderstood what I said when I called it stupid. I think you missed entirely what I said when I called it stupid because, let me ask you this. Let's say there was a word that your life, your freedom depended upon. And so when you're like 5 years old, your parents teach you that the word is cardboard box. And so you learn cardboard box. You're listening for cardboard box. That's how you're going to save your freedom. Then somebody else tells you, no, that's not what it is. It's checkbook. Checkbook is the word you need to listen for. Well, first thing you should be concerned about is, have you heard checkbook previously? Because if you have, you're probably going to lose your freedom because you blew right past it. What I'm getting at is they keep redefining the terms and it confuses the kids. I have a 15-year-old son who has talked to me about this, and he's like, well, is it this or is it this or is it this? And I said, keep it simple. If you hear her say no, that's it. You're done. That's it. She can't say yes after she says no either. Once she says no, walk away. You're done. And that's my point. This Me Too movement is redefining the terms for the boys, what they're supposed to be listening for, and how they're supposed to approach it, and making it so much more complicated than it needs to be. No means no is a good enough a phrase, and less when someone's freedom, you go to jail for that stuff. When your freedom is at stake, keep it as simple as possible so that every kid, no matter how intelligent or lack of intelligence they are, let them know that no means no. But listen, we're gonna wrap this up. It's kind of getting late. You're welcome to. We would love it if you want to book another day. It's great.
Oh, listen, I want to say this, and I think you'll both actually really appreciate this. You have both taught me one crucial lesson for the career I hope to one day earn, and that is really the one lesson is very simply stated. So, speak slower, Jackson. Just talk slower and don't be so quick to just rant. Like, just because it's called the Nightly Rant doesn't mean I have to sit here and be like, blah, 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 and like fucking Uzi virtue with all my words. Not Uzi virtue, like just machine. Fuck copyright.
You know what? There's a time and a place for that. But it usually is like after somebody says something that really sets you off. Mm-hmm. But you're right. The problem is that if you, in anything that you do, if you're going like full speed ahead all the time, you're going to burn out. And you're going to burn out people who are listening to you and trying to follow you. And, again, it's like we talked about at the beginning of the show. I told you I'm proud of you for going to the open mic nights. And, then you were like, oh, it was terrible. Guess what? It doesn't matter. You did it. That's the key, man. You did it. Like this podcast. We had no idea when we started this podcast that it would go where it's gone. And had we not done it in the first place and just taken the risk, and especially Victoria, she's stepped way out of her comfort zone and still to this day steps out of her comfort zone. You by doing that, you get so much reward back. So I'm glad to hear you say that. I mean, I don't think we tried to teach you that, but I think just trying to slow you down some of the time in the first appearance, it was interesting to me. But I think, we thought afterwards that you were mad at us because we kind of tried to control it a little bit at the end just to kind of get you to slow down. And that's when it got better. Then we thought you were mad. But then we were still chatting like buddies. And I mean, I'm glad. That's another thing. I'm glad you can respect that. We can all learn from each other. I mean, let's face it. Everybody can learn.
Like at this moment, I'll be honest, like, and I'm going to be honest and be a little bit vulnerable right now. Like, I don't necessarily like the way I'm feeling right now, but it's not like I'm feeling grateful for this opportunity because I could have easily not gotten it. And I feel like being too entitled would then make opportunities less available. So I feel like I haven't been my funniest on this podcast. I feel like I haven't been as talkative, but I'm grateful because I learned in the first place. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so
here's the thing, my friend. But here's the thing. What I've learned is over 200 and something episodes, we have nights where we're purely crap. We have nights where it's golden. And then there's a lot of nights in between. And what's going to happen, if you keep coming on the show, sometimes you're going to knock it out of the park. Sometimes you're going to bomb. But most of the time, you're just going to kind of be there. And that's okay because it makes you more comfortable doing it. I know I'm way more comfortable in front of this microphone now than I was on day one. And this wasn't even my very first podcast. And I'm still way more comfortable at this point. But we've done this for 5 days a week for a year and a half now. You're going to get there. And that's why I harped on your perseverance and the fact that you did what you said you were going to do. You said you were going to go to the open mic night and you did it. And what's even more impressive is if you thought you did so terrible, you still did it 2 more times. Like, that's awesome. Just pick yourself up, dust yourself off and go. I love it. I think it's amazing. And if you're feeling down because you think you didn't put in a good performance tonight, don't even worry about that because this is a real show and we want to go where we really feel, And I mean, I got to do it. I wanted to tease you about your Instagram name. It's the same, right? You didn't change it. Okay.
No, yeah, it's still
Comedic Jackson. Okay, good. That means you've lasted 36 minutes. I mean, that's amazing. I don't know, but that's what I wanted to tease you about, and that's why that's kind of been the theme of the show. And you've handled that really well, I have to say. But don't worry about anything else. It's if you were really bombing, we would have ended at 10 minutes. We're half hour in here, man.
It's true.
And I know how to
4 minutes before.
And I know how to get it. I know how to get out of it if I needed to. So it's like you've had a nice little sparring session with Victoria. We've gone back and forth. I think when you hear this in the end, and most of this is getting edited out. This last part's getting edited out of the show, but most of this in the end, you're going to feel like, wow, I did a lot better than I thought I did. Because I've had appearances. I have a friend who's in Austin and he has a podcast. And I've had appearances there. And I've told Victoria, I didn't get to say like 5 things. Then I listened to the podcast. A lot different than I thought, So I think sometimes when we're in the moment, we are too harsh on ourselves, So you're doing good. And one thing I love is that you really respect your dad. I think that's amazing. So.
And with all of that craziness behind us, good night, everyone.
Hasta la bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Nightly Rant.
If you enjoyed the show, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Play.
If you didn't enjoy the show, please just ignore that previous request for a rating.
This has been a Yogi's Podcast Network production.